During my 17-day trip to Japan, I took a day trip from Kyoto to Hiroshima. It was a full-day excursion through sunrise tours that included a trip to Miyajima Island. It was a day packed full of beauty, history, and reflection. We traveled by Shinkansen or high-speed bullet train from Kyoto Station to Hiroshima Station, leaving at 8 a.m. and arriving 2 hours later. After some logistics of walking and a bus ride, we eventually took a ferry boat to Miyajima, which is an island south of Hiroshima. It was a quick trip to the island, and once there, we gathered in a plaza by the port where there were deer wandering around. I had sat down on a bench and was looking at my phone when a deer stuck its head in my face. Needless to say, I jumped up rather quickly and had many other tourists laughing hysterically. Deer have long been considered sacred messengers of the gods, so they are allowed to roam freely over the island. On the plaza was also this sculpture. The guide shared with us that when you look through it, it frames the Torii gate. More about the gate later. The guide slowly led us through the market area. The guide took her time showing us various restaurants and shops and letting us know where the best food and souvenirs were. Eventually, we made our way to the Torii gate, which is set out in the water. These types of gates are common in shrines and symbolically marks the transition from the mundane to the sacred. In this case, it was the gateway to the Itsukushima shrine. The first thing you notice is that the shrine was built over the water. We were told we were lucky because we were seeing it at high tide. When the tide goes out, you evidently just see sand. There are several corridors of the shrine, all painted in vibrant orange. There is a main shrine, but also some secondary ones. There is a corridor of lanterns leading the way to the main shrine and a small no stage. It was built in the 1500s, and there are performances still held today. This bridge was built 500 years ago, but no one is quite sure how it was used. All of the various areas of the shrine have their own significance, purpose, and history. There is a pagoda nearby, and our guide explained the various tiers of the pagoda were symbolic for earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. We were given some time to take pictures from the dock, and then told we had an hour to get something to eat. From what the guide said, Miyajima is a resort area for the Japanese, and it has many ryokans for rest and relaxation. And as I had seen throughout my stay in Japan, there were masses of school children on field trips to the island. We then took the ferry back to the bus, which drove us through Hiroshima to Chuo Park, or Hiroshima's Central Park. One of the first things you notice is that Hiroshima, because it was rebuilt after the war, is a much more modern-looking city. We spent all of our time in Hiroshima in the Central Park area. We started at the Aioi Bridge, which is a three-way bridge over the Motoyasu River. This was the target of the atomic bomb. However, the bomb landed on a hospital nearby. While the bridge was not destroyed by the atomic blast, it sustained significant damage. Following the explosion, a person who survived the event described witnessing the bridge being lifted several meters into the air, only to settle back down onto its foundation. Eventually, the bridge was rebuilt, and parts of the original bridge are in the museum. Within steps of the bridge is the atomic bomb dome. It was a promotional hall that was destroyed by the bomb and burned to the ground. It was instantly engulfed in flames, killing everyone in the building. Because the pressure of the blast came from above, part of the wall escaped collapse. It is now included in the UNESCO World Heritage List as a symbol of the devastation caused by the bomb. In the center of the park is the Children's Peace Monument, with a statue dedicated to the memory of the children who died as a result of the bombing. The statue is of a girl with outstretched arms with a folded paper crane rising above her. The statue is based on the true story of Sadako Sasaki, a young girl who died from radiation from the bomb. She is known for folding over 1,000 paper cranes in response to a Japanese legend. To this day, people, mostly children, from around the world fold cranes and send them to Hiroshima, where they are placed near the statue. There are several other monuments and memorials in the park, including the Memorial Tower to the mobilized students, which was built to honor students that died during the war. We were then led to the Memorial Cenotaph. It is a concrete saddle-shaped monument that covers a cenotaph holding the names of all the people killed by the bomb. The arch shape represents a shelter for the souls of the victims. There are still over 600 people that are being treated for after effects of the bomb. Every August 6th, new names are added to the monument. After seeing the many monuments around the park, we finally arrived at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. We were given a little over an hour to make our way through the museum, which was not enough time. This was one museum that compelled you to read every plaque and absorb the potent and horrific history. It was very disturbing. The museum was laid out in a route, so everyone followed along. I took some pictures at the beginning, but then it just seemed irreverent to take photos of the devastation. I'll just say that the museum was laid out with sensitivity and had a powerful impact. When you witness the horror, you truly hope that the museum's mission of peace and no more nuclear weapons will be realized. Our group then boarded the motor coach again, which took us back to the train station for the return trip to Kyoto. We did not get back to Kyoto until after 9 p.m. It was a long day that was filled with both hope and tragedy. The images from the day will stick with me throughout my life. I have posted other videos from my trip to Japan and have left links in the description below. If you'd like to follow more of my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Next stop, Osaka.